Hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are doing another Get Fit With Me series yoga edition. This time around, we're doing Faith Hunter. We haven't reviewed her for a minute. We've actually only reviewed one other video of hers, and she doesn't post as frequently when it comes to the yoga stuff. She does both yoga and affirmations and stuff related to spirituality, if you're into that. So if you're into that, I will definitely follow her channel when it comes to that kind of stuff. I am, but lately I just kind of been not on that. I've been more onto get fit with get fit. So, but if that's your vibe, definitely check her out. But also with that being said, this channel or this, words are hard. But this particular video is ease, hips and back tension, stress relief yoga class. So this is going to be almost a 30-minute class. It looks like, nope, not quite 30, almost 25, but not quite. But anyway, I wanted to check her out again because I liked her channel before and I want to see what she has going on. And so we are going to go ahead and get into that. So in today's practice, we are starting off in a comfortable seated position. And by the way, this whole entire practice is going to be seated. So definitely get ready to just stretch your hips and work things out and do things very gently, of course, too. After sitting for a couple breaths and just, kind of being in meditation pose with our hands being open to receive, we then are going to start rotating, doing a rotation in one direction, just rotating our hips. And we're going to do that a couple times. I think it's more than a couple times, probably about 3 or 4 times around. And we're going to do that on both sides. And then from there, we'll move on to the next pose after that. In between the rotations, I forgot to mention, we are going to be doing a gentle twist. on both sides in between the rotations before we move on to the next pose after that. After we do this on both sides, we're then going to extend our legs slightly for a second. And then from just doing a wide stance for a second, then we are going to make our way to a cobbler pose. And we're going to be in this next while we do our next pose. In this cobbler pose that I mentioned, we are doing a cat-cow. So again, we are still focusing on working on stretching our hips and doing like a twist on it versus just sitting in the cobbler pose or just bending down in the cobbler pose. After we do our cat-cow poses in the cobbler pose, we are going to make our way to a wide-legged seated position. And from there, we are focusing on actually stretching out our sides. So doing a side stretch versus actually trying to reach our feet. If you can do that, definitely do that. But mainly the purpose is to do a nice stretch, a side stretch to stretch our hips more than like stretching our legs like you would normally do. After we do this side stretch on both sides with the Y-legged seated position, we then are going to actually transition to um, making our way to kind of like a seated position where our feet are on the ground but our knees are up. And there we're going to just start windshield wipering our legs. Nice stretch. And then with this windshield wiper, we are going to be holding the windshield wiper pose on one side and then doing the same thing on the other side. Next, we are making our way to different variations of a seated pigeon pose. In this video, I'm showing you one way to start off with, and then the other way, which is where you actually are lying down. And then the third way is when you start holding your legs like a baby. I am clearly doing all three. The second pose was probably the pose that I enjoyed the most because I wasn't really um, able to hold the third pose long enough because it definitely does stretch out your hips, that third option. So do whatever feels good for you, do whatever works for you. do this, after we do this variation both sides, we then are going to, for a second, just have hold our um, legs up in the air, and then make your way back up to a seated position, or do it however you want to do it. Me personally, I did rock back and forth to get myself back up to a seated position, to get to the point where we then are going to do, I forgot what she called it, but it's going to be where you're stacking your legs on top of each other, and we're going to be doing that on both sides. And with this, we're getting more of a stretch in our hips yet again. And do the best of your ability. You can either do what I did, which is I did for a second extend down, or she kind of recommends not doing that. You could do the other option, which is what I also do in the video as well. to our next, we're going to go back to our comfortable seated position. And within that comfortable seated position, we're going to do a side stretch on both sides as well. Kind of what we did in the wide-legged position, but this time, this is actually slowly winding down, and we're getting to the point where we're getting closer to concluding our practice. Lastly, before we do conclude our practice, we are going to go into the cobbler pose one more time. And this is where we finally do extend down in within that cobbler pose. And after that, once we do that and hold that for a little bit as our final stretch, that will then pretty much conclude practice for today. So that does conclude the video for today. How I rated Faith Hunter's hip release, I'm going to give it a solid 9. I would have given it a little bit higher, but I'll be honest, yeah, she did de-stress me, but like I went from being energized to now I'm ready to take a nap. I don't know if it's her or it's just the fact that the weather outside today is kind of rainy and gloomy. And I'm trying to get other things done today. Like I want to go to the gym, I want to run, get back to the routine. I have not been in a solid routine. I don't even know. I mean, this whole summer has been so weird. And now it's no longer summer, now it's fall. But like every week where I'm like, let's do this routine, I've gone almost all the way there, but not quite there. And I'm trying not to beat myself up over it. And I'm not. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's the older you get, the harder it is to stick with things or what it is. But like, I just had a lot of things that weren't on my bingo card that continues to happen. And it's just kind of like, it's interesting. And I think, honestly, for the first time, I'm really, truly living life properly. So maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But anyway, that's not why you're here. I'm going to say like a 9 because it kind of did tire me out. But add some coffee. We'll fix it. But overall, she's such a soothing voice, but that's kind of part of how I tired out. Her voice is amazing. So it might have been a miscalculation on my part. I probably should have maybe geared to do this exercise so I'm ready to go to sleep, because I think it also might be a thing where like hip releases and things like that relaxes me. It doesn't stimulate me. And so maybe maybe it's a me thing. That might be a me thing. I don't know. Definitely put in the comments if maybe I'm just off and maybe I just didn't do this right. I don't know. But anyway, I did like the video. Again, definitely check out her channel. She's doing great work. Yeah, check her out for sure. Anyway, but please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you, wow. See, I'm tired. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.